Welcome to the Natural Health Podcast, where we bring awareness of sustainable health in the business hustle space. The Natural Health Podcast is perfect for the high-performing business-minded individuals who want to work with their biochemistry to achieve optimal health. It's Friday, which means it's time for friends sharing facts about health, business, and overall success. In today's episode, we talk to Stephanie Georgiou, who will talk about the role of psychology in success. Stephanie is a passionate psychologist, author, and public speaker whose purpose in life is to help others live a better quality life. She has worked with hundreds of clients on a range of different subjects such as eating disorders, OCD, depression, anxiety, clinical perfectionism, and social phobia. She's trained in cognitive behavioral therapy, dialectic behavioral therapy, and eye movement desensitization and reprogressing, just to name a few. When she's not with her clients or educating her audience on various psychology topics, she is planning her next trip to Bali over a good brunch. Welcome to the Natural Health Podcast.
Thank you, Mihaela. I absolutely loved that introduction and it reminded me how much I'm missing Bali. So thank you for the lovely intro.
You're most welcome. How many times have you been to Bali?
I'd say maybe 12 by now.
Wow, yeah. So you must absolutely love it.
I do. It honestly feels like a second home for me. And, I was there in December and planning how I could spend more of my life here, and things started to fall into place. And then COVID hit, so I got stuck in Melbourne. But look, it's been a good journey. It's definitely helped put a lot of things into the work so I can move towards that goal of spending more time in Bali.
Beautiful. So the end goal may be to spend a lot more time in Bali.
Yes, and I want to bring you all with me. I won't give too much information yet, but a Mind Food You retreat might be in the works. Okay, I just told everyone, so now I have to do it.
I absolutely love it. And you know what? I love Bali. I've been there for about maybe 4 or 5 times and I love it. So you know what? Make it a 6th, 7th time. Why not?
Exactly. Just watch this space.
That's it. So you're a psychologist, you're an author, you're a successful businesswoman. What have been the key turning points in your journey to where you are today?
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you pointing out all those positive things, because I guess, you have your days where you're like, yes, I'm on top of everything. And then your other days where you're like, I'm not doing enough. And I guess, what's brought me to where I am today, to answer your question, is a couple of things. I mean, first and foremost, I think mindset is so important, because life is up and down, so much happens. But if you keep your mindset effective, you really can rise above whatever it is that's happening to you. And notice I didn't say positive. A lot of people think I just need to be more positive, or, be more positive. That's bullcrap. No one, including myself, can be positive all the time, but what we can choose to be is effective.
Okay, beautiful.
So I think an effective mindset.
Beautiful. So being more effective has led you to the success that you're in at the moment.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
And that's what we're going to talk about more in this podcast. Amazing.
Yes, exactly.
So here on the podcast, like you said, we'll talk about a lot about success and being effective. So how and what it means to different people. So what does success mean to you, and what does it look like for you at the moment?
I really like that question, because success is subjective. And this is what I speak about a lot in my book. I have a chapter on success and what it means, because one person's version of success may not be the same as another person's. And one thing I strongly believe is that success is subjective on a day-to-day basis. Like on a day where I'm feeling particularly, I guess, not really myself, success might be making it to the gym that day. Whereas on another day, success might be smashing out a podcast, an interview, a book chapter, and that's like next level success. So for me, success is completing the things, I want to complete despite how I feel, because more often than not, Mihaela, we don't feel like doing the things we know are going to make us feel successful. And that is what prevents a lot of people taking action.
That's great. Thanks, Steph. So are you saying that there's no one success, as in like there's not one thing that drives success. It can be adjustable. Are you saying that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think success comes down to what is it that I want? And for different people on different days, that can change. For me personally, I've thought long and hard about this because, I used to think success meant, making really good money or being in a really good job. And then I realized success is waking up and being able to do what you want. And that is the ultimate success for me. I used to be in a really high position job. I was earning like really good money, but I was working like a dog behind a computer. And I admire people who work that hard. And I'm not saying don't work that hard. Like, it's definitely useful for a period of time. But if it doesn't fulfill you, it's not going to make you happy.
That is 100% right. So the one thing that I love that you said is, success is not just one thing. It's adaptable, it's flexible. And that's what the audience and myself have previously thought about, just success being, I need to hit this target of getting this many clients. I need to hit this much money. I need to complete these many podcasts, and that can be different on any single day. That I love that flexibility of success. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That's game changing in itself. So in regards to success, and you're a psychologist, what do you believe is the link between psychology and success?
Yes. Wow. That's a very big question. I'll try
it's very broad.
As succinctly as possible. So look, your psychology essentially is your mind and how the mind reacts. And what I teach my clients is that it's not situations that affect how you feel. So, for example, you might go to a party or be invited to a party and your thoughts are, I'm not going to know anyone, I'm going to embarrass myself, it's going to be a really bad time. And then you feel anxious, stressed, and you avoid going to the party. So what people do is they try to control situations. They think, well, I'm not going to go to the party because parties make me anxious. I'm not going to eat chocolate because chocolate makes me feel guilty and stressed. But the psychology of success is not controlling situations. It's controlling your thoughts about situations. So it's not the chocolate that makes you feel guilty and upset. It's your thoughts about eating chocolate. It's your thoughts about going to a party. So what I do in cognitive behavioral therapy, and ultimately the psychology of success, is educate people on how to manage their thoughts, which affect how they feel, which then affect their behavior. And it's a vicious cycle.
Okay. So the psychology, our thoughts change how successful we are.
Ultimately, yes, because thoughts control feelings. So for example, if we did this podcast, and I went away thinking, oh my gosh, I did really bad on that podcast. I didn't say this. I should have said that. That's going to make me feel upset. It's going to make me feel demotivated. And that's going to affect my behavior, which it may prevent me on being on more future podcasts. And then not being on podcasts is going to make me feel like a failure, which is going to reinforce my belief that I'm not successful. And yes, ultimately it can affect what your version of success might look like. So if my version of success was do more podcasts, but I go away from a podcast having those negative thoughts, that's going to affect my feelings, which is going to affect my engagement in further podcasts more likely than not.
Wow, that's a brilliant link. I absolutely love how simple you just put it. It's kind of like my thoughts can change my success instead of, me staying up till 2 a.m., me not seeing my friends and family, me not eating healthy. That stuff isn't really going to make you successful. You're saying that our mind, our psychology is going to make us successful. Yeah. That is mind-blowing. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, your perception is your reality. So whether or not you stay up till 2 a.m. working, Mihaela, it's your perception of that. You can be like, I stayed up so late, I'm not going to get enough sleep, I'm grinding, I'm getting nowhere. Or you can think, go me, staying up to 2 a.m., I'm hustling, I'm getting it done. That's going to affect how you feel, and then it's going to affect your productivity, and that's the link. Your perception of reality.
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing that, Steph. So besides your mindset, what else do you believe are key factors in success?
This is a big one, because with a lot of my work with clients, it's not just, they can come see me for an hour a week and that will have an impact, but it's more so their environment or the ecosystem they're in. So for example, if a child, is in an abusive home or in a really negative space, they can come see you for therapy. But if you keep putting that child back into that abusive environment, nothing is really going to change. And aside from your mindset, programming your environment for success is paramount. If you want to give up smoking, you have to program your environment to be a non-smoking environment, at least in the initial stages when it's, you're in the hardest point. Similarly, if you want to be a successful podcaster, surround yourself with other people doing podcasts, or, people you want to bring on the show to share their wisdom. So environmental success is a big factor in, other than your mindset, in psychological success.
Okay, so if, for example, someone who's listening to the podcast at the moment, they're sitting in their room and they're saying, I'm never really going to achieve what I want to achieve. I've done everything I could have done. I can't change my friends. I can't change my family. This is the situation I have. What can they do to change that mindset and actually move away from that mindset that they're in to a successful mindset where they can actually achieve what they want to achieve and change the world for the better?
Yeah. Well, research has shown even just saying the word can't actually changes your brain. And your brain is so incredible that when you imagine something or you visualize something, your brain actually doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. And it will believe whatever it is to be true. So for example, if you were saying that you can't and thinking that you can't and visualizing that you can't, your brain is actually going to believe that's real. So when you go to try, you're going to feel like you failed before you even start. So I tell my clients, remove the words good, bad, and can't from your vocabulary in particular areas. And I guess looking at that mindset and challenging, I teach people to challenge their thoughts. So someone saying, I can't change my friends, challenge that thought and think, okay, if I don't change that, my friends, what does my life look like in 5 years from now? Am I going to still be drinking, smoking, partying? What's the worst thing that can happen if I stopped hanging out with these people? What's the worst thing that could happen if I went online and met new people? So it's about exploring the thoughts around why they believe they can't change their friends, and then looking at the evidence for and against those thoughts and reprogramming your brain. And the way we do that is we manage our thoughts and think more effectively, always going back to that effectiveness thought factor.
And I guess this is why it's important to work with a professional like yourself in this, because when I guess you are in that mindset of can't, you, like you said, you will not be able to do it. You can't do it. And that's where it's key to have someone like you come in and go, well, let's look at this can't. Let's look at what we can do, how we can change the mindset and then achieve a positive results in that.
Yeah, absolutely. And clients get blown away because no one teaches you how to do this. Like, I'll say to my clients, your thoughts are not facts. And they're like, wow,
that's mind-blowing.
Not facts. Yeah. A thought is just words put together in your mind, and your brain learns to go to default settings because it's safe. By thinking I can't make new friends, that's my safe default setting because it doesn't push me to go and make new friends. It keeps me safe. Your brain is designed to survive, not to thrive. So you got to go against what feels comfortable and against that default setting in your brain. And often, more than not, it can be anxiety provoking. However, with repeated exposure to getting out of your comfort zone, you learn to make a new default setting.
That's great, Steph. Thanks so much for sharing that. So an individual who says that they can't be successful, they actually can with their mind, and the default settings are the ones that are stopping them. So in regards to this default setting, are we responsible for making that default setting ourselves? Do we make that?
That is such a good thing to point out, because our default setting comes from a range of different things, our upbringing. So I'll give you an example. I just worked with a client who is struggling with mindless eating. She constantly eats on the go. She constantly eats sugars and carbs and unhealthy foods. And I set her a homework task and I said, okay, your default setting is, eat on the go. Let's find out why. And she said, when I sit down to eat, I can just hear my mother saying, you're eating too much, or, you're not good enough. You're not doing this. You're not strong. You need to control your eating. You need to control your emotions. So growing up, her mother's repeated words like that created that default setting. So in order to escape that anxiety, she was constantly eating on the go to avoid facing that. So the default setting comes from our upbringing, our circle of influence, and just repeated behaviors which we learn are safe, but they're not in fact safe. They're just avoidance coping.
Wow, that just brought goosebumps to me. That's absolutely crazy, because there's always a deeper reason as to why we do what we do and why we say what we say. That's absolutely crazy. So
yeah,
talking about going back to success, successful people are driven to succeed. I know that. I know by the people that I'm surrounded with, we're just have a psychological need to achieve their goals. Do we all have this within us, or is it kind of like a genetic thing, an environmental thing? What is it?
I think everyone's driving factor is different, right? So I'll give you an example. There's two brothers and their father was an alcoholic, right? And those two brothers went down completely different paths. One brother became an alcoholic. One brother became super, super successful. And when they were both asked, how did you turn out this way? They both said, look at my father, right? So our conditions, we can let our conditions shape who we become, or we can let our conditions shape our decisions to who we become. So the first brother saw his father, he was an alcoholic. He said, that's my condition, so that's my destiny. Whereas the second brother said, that was the condition, but I'm going to make a decision and go down a different path. So I think what drives people and what drives behavior can be different things. It's either pain or pleasure, and how you deal with that pain and pleasure can either be through healthy behaviors or unhealthy behaviors. But I think definitely the drive to succeed is a personal one, but often it comes from a place of either a pain point, something that people, they don't want to go through what their parents made them go through as children, so they want to avoid that pain. And I think that's the common link we see. Think of anyone who's successful. They've been through something. They're wanting more, whether it's, to help people or help themselves, is something that's deeper and usually, quite psychologically deep as well.
Yeah, mentioning pain and pleasure, for a change, working in the health sector, there's always individuals who usually have a lot of pain, and that is what pushes them for a change. But also the same thing that you mentioned about two brothers having an alcoholic dad, there could be the aspect of that driving you to change, or that being like, well, that's going to be me. And it's the same thing in the health, it's the same in business, it's the same in any type of industry, and I think it's very interesting, the mindset of the individual that chooses not to go down that pathway.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's definitely positively reinforcing. I think if you're going down that pathway and you start to see results, it reinforces, that, this is the right track. This is where I should be going. And I just think it's so individual. I think everyone's, like we said, version of success is different. I do think everyone is destined to succeed in their own way, but not everyone's definition of success is the same. And that's okay. Success doesn't have to be, making this much money. There's people who make millions of dollars and are miserable. So it's about finding your own driving factor, your own why, and everyone's why is different.
I was going to say, do you have any tips on how to find your driving factor? What would be your first go-to?
Yeah, that's so much. So I think to find your why, your driving factor, is firstly to ask yourself, okay, what what do I really want? What is it that I want in life? And then asking yourself, what is stopping me, right? So it might be, I don't have enough time. I'm not smart enough. Okay, if you're not smart enough, what does that mean to you? Oh, that I'm never going to get anywhere in life. Okay. And what does that mean to you? And I would drill clients. I'll say, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? And they're like, Steph, why do you keep asking? And then we drill down. And usually it'll come down to not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy enough, not feeling lovable. So there's usually a core belief deep down that drives their why. And we dig with their thoughts, and then the thoughts lead us to the core belief.
That's amazing, Steph. So, a lot of people think, I want to go see a psychologist, and they usually see a psychologist because either, they have depression, anxiety, some type of mental disorder, or they've been diagnosed with something by their doctor, and then they get referred to a psychologist. But from what you're saying, it would actually be beneficial to work with a professional, even if you do not have or have not developed or been diagnosed with anything like that, to actually be successful in life, to work out what is stopping you from that success that you want to achieve. And by unblocking that blockage, that barrier, you're able to actually go all forward and achieve your success. Would you agree?
Yes, 100%. I cannot emphasize this enough. So obviously, like you said, people go to the doctor, they get a mental health plan. But in order to get a mental health plan, i.e. have sessions rebated by Medicare, you need to meet a diagnosable condition. And this is what I talk about in my book. I say, just because you do not have an anxiety disorder or a depressive disorder, it does not mean that you won't benefit from psychological strategies. And this is why I work a lot with the general population, because I say to people, just because you feel okay and you feel like, oh, well, at least I'm not depressed, or at least I'm not this, it doesn't mean you can't be elevated to a whole new level. And this is the work I love doing with clients, is working with the general population who may have, a bit of niggles of anxiety and eating concerns here and there, but it's not a diagnosable condition, but we prevent it getting to that point, and we actually take them to the next level. So a lot of my clients who come in with, a diagnosable concern like anxiety or depression, once we get them out of that, we then take them up to the next level. And that's the work I love, I thrive in.
Yeah, I can sense the passion there, Steph. I can sense the passion of making individuals thrive and optimize their performance and their health. And I mean, most of our audience may be at that level. And knowing that entrepreneurs, business owners, business professionals do suffer a lot from mental issues such as anxiety and depression. And a lot of these individuals have taken that to push them further to succeed. And if they can work with a professional like yourself before even being diagnosed, to optimize their business, that is different.
Yes.
That's the next level. That's just like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So 100%. How many?
And
yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, I was just going to add to that and say, no one teaches you the psychological strategies, and people go to a personal trainer or people go to a business coach, but there's always a psychology element in that. And you can learn such, and I use them every day. Like, even psychologists have psychologists. We all need that mental health mindset, whether you want to call it coaching, whether you want to call it therapy, whether you want to call it counseling, is up to you. But we can all benefit from it, because without our mind, it's the strongest, it really is the strongest muscle in the system.
Yeah. So how many people would come and see you at this optimization level?
Yeah, lately, over the last couple of months, definitely over isolation, a much higher percentage, because I've moved out a little bit of working in a clinic. So it depends where you work as well. So when I was working in a clinic, obviously doctors refer you patients. So everyone is usually within a psychological disorder that is coming through. Whereas throughout isolation and, through social media, people reach out and they're like, hey, I see you work with eating disorders. I want some help. And that sort of led to my book, and it led to the programs I'm currently developing to help, the general population. So I guess recently when I moved online, definitely more people started seeing me for that optimization, because They were stuck in isolation. They were stuck with their feelings, their thoughts. They couldn't escape, and were like, okay, now's the time to invest in my mind.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And I mean, imagine how much success these individuals are getting or would be getting if they break through. That's it. Like if they break through their mind, if they stop that I can't, if they stop that I won't, I'm not worthy, I can't do this, I don't deserve this. Like that is the bottom blockage of most individuals. And most, like you said, most individuals that we know have succeeded, they have had these blockages and they've worked through them. So that's absolutely amazing. And I love that that is your passion. I absolutely love it. So I know we've spoken a lot about all these things back and forth, but what would be one thing that you could say someone could do right now to kind of achieve success in their mind?
Yeah, let's have a look. What can they do right now to achieve success? Number one, everyone get a pen and write this down, unless you're driving, is...
What's a pen?
What's a pen? I know. What's paper?
What
I don't
is
even
this?
know anymore. Yeah, so I think number one, I'll put it in 3 steps. I'm all about that step by step, is define what you want. What, if you woke up tomorrow, Mihaela, and you were successful in quotes, what would that look like for you? That's the question. If I woke up tomorrow and I was successful, what would that look like? What time would you wake up? What would you be doing? How would you be feeling? And then work out, okay, that image in my mind and where I am now, what's the gap? What do I need to do to bridge that gap? How do I need to think? And a lot of clients will say, all right, tell me what to do. What do I need to do? And I'm like, listen, it's not about what you need to do. I can give you the strategies, but you can Google what to do. Everyone, it's not a matter of not having the resources, right? It's a matter of implementation and becoming who it is you want to be. So it's not what do I have to do, it's who do I need to become. So I say, if you wake up tomorrow and you were someone full of self-worth, what would you do? Well, I would go for a walk. Okay, well, you go for a walk. Even if you don't feel worthy, you still go for that walk. So step one is ask yourself, if I woke up tomorrow successful or in the vision of success I wanted, what does that look like? And then number 2 is embody that person and become that person now. Okay, so if I was 5 kilos lighter, what would I be having for a snack? I'd have like carrots and hummus or whatever. So become that person. And then 3 is visualize yourself in the version of success. So every time when I go to bed at night, I do a visualization, manifestation. I imagine myself, I visualize, and a lot of elite athletes do this because it's proven. They've done tests where athletes have visualized winning a race, and the ones who did that won the race over the people who practiced and practiced and practiced, because the mind mentally rehearses, and like I said, it doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So if you imagine things the way you want them to be, they will come true. But this is why also people reinforce the notion of failure, is because they often visualize what they don't want to happen. They think of themselves stuffing up in the meeting. They think of themselves getting rejected in the next relationship. They think of, something not happening successfully. And then again, the brain focuses on that and attracts that. So you've got to visualize what it is you want, not what you don't want.
Steph, that is amazing. I love those 3 steps, and I hope people have got their pens out and wrote it down.
That's right. Or their phones taking notes. Yes.
That's it. No, that's absolutely amazing. And I mean, the visualization, I know it seems so like a magical fairyland to a lot of people, but it works. It 100% works. And I'm pretty sure you've seen it work on a number of people. I've seen it work, and I'm pretty sure the audience has. If they haven't tried it on visualizations, look into it more, and maybe we'll do a podcast next time about visualization and what we can do to achieve success through that. So,
yeah, absolutely. I like how you said fairyland. But you know what? Yes, it is fairyland, but fairyland is a great place to be. You know, I'm a Pisces and I'm in my own world all the time. And, you know, people would say to me, like, you live in La La Land. And I'm like, yeah, and it's freaking great. You should try it sometime. So try it. Before you diss visualization, try it and see how it makes you feel.
It's so true. It's so much better than being stuck in the ruts and just thinking negative thoughts. But then if you're thinking those negative thoughts, you're making it happen anyway. So why not think about fairies and butterflies and make things happen?
Yeah, exactly. Because what you think about, you bring about.
100%. So, you know, this is the Natural Health Podcast. So I want to know, what is Steph's best kept natural health hack?
My best natural health hack. Do you mean like physical health or mental health or everything?
It's all included in health: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. What would be one of your secret health hacks that you want to share with the audience?
Okay. Definitely start your morning on your terms and do two things for you. Either if it's going for a walk or listening to a podcast like this one, or journaling, or just having a cup of tea alone, start your morning with yourself, for yourself. Your morning sets the tone of the day. And, you know, I used to run a business. I was doing an honors degree. It's all in the book, but I honestly used to wake up and I was a slave to emails, and I always felt this urgency to respond to everyone straight away and this urgency to always be active and present. But now I'll see that, but I don't let it distress me. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. I got like 54 emails. That's cool. I'll get to that. You know, what's the worst that can happen? Nothing. So putting yourself first and foremost in the morning and doing two things for you is my secret health hack. That's
brilliant. And I mean, it just sets off the day just amazingly. So what are your two things that you do in the morning usually?
Yeah. The two things I do in the morning is exercise. So I usually do my exercise at 7:30, and I always make sure I have breakfast. It's simple but effective, and this is what people need to know. It's not the big grand gestures that you do. It's the small things you do consistently that maintain habits and that create long-term success.
That's brilliant. I love that. I love that, exercise and food. I love both of them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And so we need food to live. And I always say to my clients, and to people, like, your wealth is nothing without your health. Your health is your wealth.
That is exactly what this whole podcast is about, to ensure that people understand that without your health, you're not going to have any wealth. I mean, throughout the whole podcast, you've mentioned a book and you're an author. Can you tell me a little bit more about this?
Oh, yes. I'm so excited. It's going to be out in a couple of weeks. So the book is called Food Jail: Breaking the Bars of Binge Eating. And it is a self-help book with a modern day twist on how to, manage and overcome binge eating, bulimia. It's an introduction. So it takes you through a lot of education around eating disorders, but also a term I describe as eating disturbance. And this is what I said earlier: just because you don't have a diagnosable condition such as bulimia or anorexia or binge eating disorder, which a lot of people probably do but don't realize they're binge eating, it doesn't mean that you don't have eating disturbance. I believe eating disturbance happens on a spectrum, and if your life is dictated and maintained with a dissatisfaction of body shape and weight, and you think about food a lot, there are strategies you can learn to achieve a better quality of life that doesn't revolve around food. And that's what I teach you in the book.
That's amazing. So, can the things that you mentioned in the book be taken to ensure that you're successful in life? Or is it just for people who binge eat or have, like you said, are obsessed with food or anything like that?
Yeah. Good question. No, it can be applied to any area of your life. So in the book, I have mindfulness strategies. I use cognitive behavioral therapy strategies. And like I say in there, you can apply it to any area of your life that you want to change, whether it's relationships, whether it's drinking. Your thoughts follow you in different areas of your life. So if you have, for example, if you have a thought that, I'm not good enough, that core belief is going to follow you in different areas. It's going to crop up in your relationships when you're triggered. It's going to crop up in your body. It's going to crop up, in family life. So usually core beliefs tend to follow us in different areas. So the strategies can be used in other areas of your life, not just eating.
Beautiful. I absolutely love that. Okay, so we have come to the end of this magical podcast interview. Steph, for the listeners, where will they be able to find you, and what would you be able to provide them with?
Yeah, well, I would absolutely love to give the readers a free meditation track. So I've developed this ultimate sleep meditation. I call it the world's best meditation because it is. And people listen to it and they say, oh my goodness, I fell asleep straight away. So what I've done in this meditation track is I've combined progressive muscle relaxation, meditation and mindfulness, but then I've also put in there some binaural beats, which are the beats or the music that mimic the alpha, delta and theta waves in your brain, which are involved in deep relaxation. And it's designed to help you sleep really deeply and really effectively. So I'm happy everyone to grab that link. Just either jump onto my Instagram page and you can download it straight from my bio, or you can pop the link in this podcast if you like. And everyone can find me online at mindfoodsteph.com. Beautiful.
And on Instagram handle mindfoodsteph, is that correct?
Yes, the mind, the food, and then me.
Then the Steph.
Yeah, and the Steph, that's right.
I absolutely love it. What I'll do is I'll link the link for the meditation, which I have listened to, and it's absolutely amazing. And you know how much I blab on about how important sleep is. Well, this is definitely going to get you in a deep sleep. I think it took me I was 6 minutes in and I was out.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So I haven't heard the whole thing.
Yeah. No, you don't need to, honestly, because the progressive muscle relaxation is at the start. Once your muscles are relaxed, people don't realize how much tension they hold.
That's it. And I was out. As soon as those muscles relaxed, I was out. So I absolutely love it. I absolutely love the meditation. I think it's an amazing thing that you're doing, an amazing thing that you're providing your audience with. So please head over to her Instagram and download the meditation, listen to it. Help you with your sleep. But today we just went through so many things about successful mindsets, the psychology behind it, how you can change your view on success and how you can become more successful with working with your psychology. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for joining us, Steph. Absolutely love it.
Thank you for having me. It's been absolutely fantastic, and I love all your Instagram stories and posts, so keep it up. They're keeping me healthy.
Thank you for joining us at the Natural Health Podcast. And remember, the missing link between failure and success is your health.